Well known amongst the community for radically unorthodox strategies and equally politically incorrect roleplay, this fictitious unconventional faction in Squad fails to implement modern technologies but can uniquely compensate with exclusive capabilities and gameplay mechanics. For this video, I will provide an overview of the Insurgents, then weigh the faction's pros and cons to determine their overall practical strengths and weaknesses. Citing Squad developers directly, originally a band of political dissidents, the Insurgents, as they have come to be known, started growing at an alarming rate with the intervention of foreign powers in their country. Now they pose a significant threat by holding various strategic corners of the countryside and have even made incursions into more urban environments. In-game, the Insurgents are distinguished by their use of a mix of civilian clothes, culturally traditional outerwear, and older generation urban or woodland camouflage for uniform, and either black, tan, white, or rusted vehicle paint. In terms of map variety, INS is currently weak, as the team is limited to just 2 available biomes: Afghanistan, Central Asia, and the Middle East, 12 maps. Being an independent faction, they have the ability to oppose units from every alliance in said biomes, to include other independent teams. For unit variety, the Insurgents have 6 available unit types: Armored, Combined Arms, Light Infantry, Mechanized, Motorized, and Support. Their default unit deploys a single T-62 main battle tank, 3 BMP tracked IFVs, 1 MTLB tracked APC, 1 BRDM wheeled armored scout car, 2 anti-air trucks, 1 artillery technical, and 3 motorbikes, in addition to standard logistics and transport assets. The long list of pros for the INS faction is derived from their infantry's combat effectiveness. First, while lacking access to the standard HESCO fortifications of conventional teams, they are instead provided unique deployables such as dirt-filled oil barrels and tire fires, and can emplace anti-aircraft guns and the exclusive Hell Cannon improvised indirect fire weapon. Additionally, they are the only faction in-game to have restrictions on building HABs reduced for all units, allowing them up to 2 spawn bunkers per radio no matter the unit type. An outstanding pro in favor of the Insurgents, as their tech structures also cost less build points than they do normally for conventional opponent forces. 2. Appointed commanders have relaxed limitations on where they can deploy strategic and tactical support from, as they can also execute privileged actions well within proximity of friendly vehicles, instead of being required to be near a fully built HAB. And, rather than accessing a UAV camera feed for strategic support, instead deploys a personal handheld drone that can be used to fly around the map to get a better overview of the fight. Number 3, also relating to leadership, their exclusive Buddy Rally feature, which enables cell leaders to designate friendly parallel squads rally spawn points functionally as their own, so that ground forces are able to deploy in support of other objectives. Particularly useful when a squad's rally has been compromised, but a nearby friendly position is a viable alternative. Fourth, the entire team has outstanding weapon variety, particularly the fighter role, which can choose between several primary small arms armament options, such as faster reloading AK platforms and longer barreled ranged rifles. 5. Related to infantry armament variety as well, they are provided 2 types of submachine guns for short-range engagements: the Scorpion SMG, available to crewmen as primary weapon, and select cell leaders as a secondary, and the exclusive Raider, direct combat, and Sapper, fire support roles, which field PPSH SMGs that are renowned for their high rate of fire and optional 71-round drum magazine. Additionally, kits fielding SKS battle rifles can affix bayonets to the front of their main gun for use as an extended melee weapon in CQB situations. Number 6. INS units deploy multiple types of light machine guns for automatic rifleman roles, in addition to extended access to long-range rifles for marksmen and sniper kits. both of which are roles available to cells of 5 or more members. 7th, the hindrances of unconventional, older generation equipment is moderately compensated by their infantry's anti-armor capabilities, as AT personnel are provided with more rockets for their launchers, and Raider roles are issued anti-tank grenades that are thrown by hand and detonate upon impact instead of a timer. Lastly, number 8, the aforementioned Sapper role replaces the standard conventional combat engineer kit with a loadout much more akin to the faction's guerrilla warfare fighting style, blessed with the proprietary improvised explosive device demolition charge and cell phone detonator, which is lauded among the community for both its sheer destruction and meme-generating potential. In addition to these pros, the team does have advantages in terms of vehicle effectiveness. First, they are one of the only factions in-game with truck-mounted anti-aircraft weaponry and vehicle-borne rocket pod artillery capabilities, both of which pack a considerable punch in terms of destruction of lightly armored assets and indirect fire support. Next, access to ultralight assets. Select units of theirs deploy Minsk motorbikes that offer rapid troop transport across the battlefield while also having a low-ticket liability and short respawn time, which, just like the handheld strategic drone and other vehicles, can be combined with the Sapper's IED for devastating mobile and suicide detonation missions. Lastly, their older generation T-62 main battle tank, though lacking in armament, armor, and technology, features 4 crewman seats, enabling the commander and loader operator positions heightened tactical situational awareness. And, being an unconventional group, 4 additional bodies can descent on the main hull of the tank, much like the Scorpion MBT in the early Halo games. The cons against the faction are constraints caused by infantry armament limitations. First, the large majority of small arms weapons issued in the INS's kits exclude fitment of magnified or red dot optics, meaning their accurate target acquisition suffers in medium to long range engagements. Second, what can be seen as a pro attribute depending on the operator's combative intent, tracer ammunition is unavailable for any of their rifles or automatic machine guns, meaning they lack the option to use illuminating rounds as a source of target designation. Third, though able to emplace dumb-firing SPG-9 anti-tank rocket launchers, they are unable to utilize statically positioned guided missile launchers due to unconventional restrictions. In addition to these cons, the disadvantages of the team are based on hindrances of older generation vehicle limitations. First, none of their units deploy helicopters to assist with aerial fire support or insurgent extraction missions, and, in line with restricted aerial capabilities, they also lack UAV drone reconnaissance support and cannot call in tactical airstrikes. Finally, also because of more primitive technologies, their T-62 main battle tank fails to feature launchable smokescreen grenades or ATGM armament, and only the main cannon can be stabilized, while the rest of their unit's vehicle assets do not include any range-finding or stabilization advantages. Keeping these characteristics in mind, implementing effective strategies specific to the insurgents results in maximization of the faction's strength. Though they lack an optimal environment based on terrain or foliage attributes due to civilian and non-camouflage oriented appearances, they find themselves most effectively staged and fighting within urban areas and among man-made structures. This is bolstered by their infantry's lack of unobstructed sights and magnified optics, which means they are more postured for CQB warfare, a capability that is further enhanced by the versatility of their diverse weapon repository. As for strategic strength, the team's potential for successful warfare is most optimized by exercising support tactics through prioritizing hit and run, flank strikes, and indirect fire missions with available exclusive deployables and vehicles. As for the weaknesses of the INS, Misuse of limited resources and their inherent faults result in detrimental effectiveness of their units overall. Because of their non-conforming uniform combinations and dark colors, they find themselves most vulnerable while in open areas without solid cover to hide behind, as opposed to conventional factions that can blend in with the environment. Finally, outdated equipment is the insurgents' weakest characteristic, and it is due to hindrances of missing features and suboptimal defensive resiliency that causes them to be susceptible to hardened strategies of more modernized conventional forces' technologically superior vehicle advancements.